I'm very pleased to welcome to the programme Rachel Cheney, and Rachel is team leader from Work Live Leicestershire. So good to have you on the show, Rachel, and tell us a bit about Work Live Leicestershire, what you do.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Christine. Work Live Leicestershire is an employment support project, and we work in rural parts of the county, helping people that need some extra support into getting into work, getting into volunteering, getting into education and training. And Melton's one of our key areas that we work in, the whole district of Melton Mowbray.
And how long have you been doing this?
So we began in January 2019. So we've been at it a little while, but COVID has been a bit of a hiccup for us, as it has for everybody over the last couple of years. But so we're really in a good position, we think, post-COVID, and as we're coming out of the pandemic, to really make sure everybody knows we're here and we can get our support out there to people that need it.
Now, with the pandemic, this has affected people's employment hugely. Some people are having to change careers, and you can help with that as well, can you?
Definitely. We've seen a number of people come to us that might have lost a job or had to leave a job because of a health issue or because of redundancy. And so they'll come to us and we'll work with them to help identify what's next for them, where are the next steps on their journey.
And at one time, the focus of organisations such as yours was very much on young people, school leavers, people in their early 20s who weren't sure what they wanted to do in life. But now you help people across the board. Well,
we certainly do, and we help people of all ages. In fact, over 32% of the people we support are aged over 50. So we really do have a good mix of age groups, and the people that provide the support to them, so the key workers in our project, have got experience of working with people of all ages, with all levels of experience and with all kinds of backgrounds as well.
You cater for people in rural areas. Why do you focus on rural areas?
So the project was conceived very much to focus, as you say, on those rural areas. So we work in Melton Mowbray, we work in Market Harborough, Hinckley and Bosworth and North West Leicestershire. They're our kind of focus areas, but we will take people from outside of those areas as well, so long as they're in the county. And the reason for that being chosen at the beginning of the project was we know people living in those areas have extra barriers to deal with. Transport is a massive issue for people, and finding the right employment near to where you live or somewhere that is easy for you to get to is really important, and it helps with the whole work-life balance issue for people. So we very much work in those areas, find out what's available in those areas, and the support we provide is in those areas for people as well. We're not expecting people to travel into Leicester for training courses or to meet their key worker. We very much, at the moment, use a mix of online remote working, but also face-to-face working where we need to. We're bringing the support out there into those rural areas where people need it.
Could you talk us through the steps of when a new person approaches your organisation? How do you take them through the whole process?
Yeah, certainly. So the first thing we do when people contact us is really have a chat with them just to find out if we are the right project for them and what support they're looking for. So one of our outreach workers will have that conversation with the person either over the phone or if they have met them face to face somewhere. And then once they're signed up to the scheme, we'll allocate them a named worker, which we call a key worker in the project. And that key worker spends some time working with each individual to find out really what their journey is going to be about, what their strengths are, what are the areas they want to work on, what skills do they want to develop. And we'll come up with an individual plan for that person to help them achieve their goals, the things that are important to them. So for some people, that might be getting into work really quite quickly. For others, they might feel it's a longer journey for them and they want to take some smaller steps towards that. But there'll be a plan in place and very regular support from their key worker to help them to work towards their individual goals.
Now, you've got three areas: training, education and employment. How do each of these work?
So sometimes it's a mix for people. So they'll be working towards employment, but at the same time taking part in some training as well to supplement their skills and knowledge. And for some people, it might be about their longer term goal is to return to full-time education. So we can help them with that. Again, with volunteering, we can use that as a way to help people towards their goal as well, getting them some experience in a work type environment, getting them in situations where they're perhaps trying out something they've not tried out before. So So every part of what we do kind of clicks together to form a jigsaw for that person. And also, Christine, just to mention, as well as employment, we also work with people who are interested in self-employment. So we have some specialist input in the project, which comes from CASE, who are a local organisation that work with people to help develop business plans and to come up with a model of business that's going to work for them. So that's a really interesting aspect of our project, I think. And for some people, they're interested in self-employment rather than a traditional being employed route.
Is there a cost involved for people who apply to you?
Absolutely not. When people come to us, the service is free. If they have any expenses, such as, say, travel to venues, we would reimburse that. So everything we do is free, and it's about trying to offer a very personalised service to help people meet their goals and to get back into employment if that's what they want to do, or probably to get into their first job as well. Whatever it is for that person, we'll do our best to support them to achieve that goal.
Now, we cover Melton Mowbray under Vale of Belvoir, which also goes right up to Bottisford, which is a very rural area. Mm-hmm. If somebody, say, is living in Bottisford and would like to see if they can be helped by the scheme, how would they go about it?
So I've got some contact details for you, Christine, if I can share those with everybody listening. The first thing to do is either contact us by email or phone. So by phone on 01455 856 318, or via email on, this is quite a long address, so hope you've got a pen, contact us at workliveleicestershire.org.uk. So people can contact us on either of those mediums, and we'll make sure that we come back to people, tell them more about what we do, and see if they're interested in getting support from us.
Have you got any stories you can share with us? Obviously not giving names for confidentiality reasons, but just details about what successes you've had with your organisation in getting people to gain employment or perhaps change career.
Yeah, well, since the project began, Christine, we've had over 190 people move into employment or self-employment. So we're really proud of that. And there's all sorts of different stories that we hear. We've had people that, there was one particular gentleman who was made redundant very unexpectedly after 30 years of working in one particular role. It's a real challenge then for him finding out how to even look for jobs and apply for jobs in what was a very different world to when he'd last applied for work. But he very successfully found a job in logistics with our support, and was receiving training to be a forklift truck driver as well in that setting. So it made a massive change to him. We've also had people that have moved into self-employment. So we've recently had, over the kind of COVID period, 2 people who've set up their own gardening and DIY businesses, so we've supported them to do that. We're really proud as well that we've managed to get a few people recently into social care related work. It's such a challenging area, particularly over recent times, and there's people that we've been able to support to make that change of career, again from factory-based roles often into social care opportunities. So a real variety for us. And, behind all of those numbers, the number we're really proud of people getting into work, there's a story, there's a massive impact for each individual. And it's down to the hard work they've put in themselves, but with the support from their key worker. And something we often hear is people will come back to us and say, the thing that made a real difference was having someone who genuinely believed in me and genuinely thought I could do this, and I did do it.
And you mentioned you've got some particular connections with Melton Mowbray of Phoenix House.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people listening already know Mark Frisbee and the crew at Access All Areas. They're one of the partners on the project. They work with us to help achieve these outcomes in the Melton area. So Access All Areas are based at Phoenix House and can always be contacted directly for people to make referrals as well. And we work with quite a number of different partners as well, including Be Inspired, the Rural Community Council, Voluntary Action Leicestershire, and the Workers' Education Association. And as a project, we're hosted by Vista, which again I'm sure a lot of listeners might know of, which is a sight loss charity for Leicestershire and Rutland, and they host our project. So we've got great support from them in the work we do as well.
So once again, if anybody would like to take up this opportunity, could you give us the contact details?
Yeah, certainly. So the telephone number to ring is 01455 856 318. And the email address is contactors@workliveleicestershire.org.uk, and I can promise a friendly and helpful response to anyone that contacts us.
And are you working at all over the Christmas and New Year period? Which days are you open and which days are you closed?
So we're working on the normal days, just not the bank holidays. So we're closed on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and we're closed on New Year's Day. But other than that, there will be people around to take calls. And we've been saying to people recently, make it this your year. The next year, make it your New Year's resolution to make that change. The things you've been hoping to achieve, we're there to help you do that. So hopefully this is going to be your year.
So it's good that you're open between Christmas and New Year, because this is a time when people start to take stock, and perhaps they have got a few days off. If they are already in work and want to change career, you cater for those people as well, do you?
We can only work with people that are unemployed at the moment.
Unemployed, yes.
But Leicestershire County Council actually run their work and skills service at the minute, so we can let people have contact details of that service if it's people that have already got a job but are looking to change career, or maybe to get a second job for more hours. So there is a route there for people that want that support. But for those that are not working at the minute and are keen to find out how they can take steps into employment, we're there to help.
Well, thank you very much, Rachel, for letting us know all about the work of Work Live Leicestershire. It's a very worthwhile project. Thank you very much for talking to 103 The Eye today.